Welcome back. I hope you guys are doing great. In this video, I think I erased the clip of the intro I did for this video. I don't know what happened to it. I think I accidentally erased it, but in this video we're working on a 2004 Honda crf70. I'm getting it back running. It had no spark on it. The fuel was dumping out of the fuel petcock, and I had dumping out of the carburetor as well. So I just go through and rebuilt the carburetor, everything. Just went through everything. I think we're picking up the part where I'm fixing the stator, putting the new stator on. It has a new CDI box on it and a coil already on it and a spark plug. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Well, we're finally back on the bike. I finally got a new stator in. Just got it in last night. Actually, I had to reorder that actually because the first one I sent got lost in shipping, so they sent me another one. The old one, it doesn't ohm out at all. It's no good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mount that one on here. I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's mounted on here. Then we'll put the flywheel on, bolt, torque it down, and then start putting this thing back together and see what we got spark. Got the stator installed. That was really easy to do. I did have to do a zip tie right here. This little pulsar coil or whatever, the wire on it is longer than the factory one, and probably the wiring right here for the where you plug it in, it's a little bit long, so I'm probably have to wad it up and maybe zip tie it together and put it inside this little boot. Not a big deal. So next we're going to take the flywheel. I'm going to get my flywheel holder tool and I'm going to torque this thing down, and then put the cover back on. We'll see if we got spark. The flywheel's back on. I put the little cover back on. It's all torqued. The flywheel's torqued down. Put the cover back on, and I just took the wire and I put it wiring and put it all back in here and just pushed it back where it's supposed to be. That's all I've done. So now, in theory, we should have spark. The key is on. The switch is on. This is one tool I highly recommend you getting if you don't have one, if you're doing small engine repair or any engine repair. Just spark checker. This is what I use all the time. Just plugs in between the coil and the spark plug, and there's a little light bulb in here that'll flicker if you have spark. Let's see if we got spark. Let's see if I can do this like this. It's kind of hard to do, but we have spark, so should, in theory, because I replaced the coil, CDI box, and the stator, so it should have spark, which it does. So now, I guess we'll move on to the fuel side of things. I got to take this carburetor off, which is really easy to do. Got the carburetor off. You can see they didn't have an air filter in it. You can see all that trash in there. So I got a new one actually ordered. It should be here in the next day or so. Not a big deal. First things first, I'm going to take this air filter housing off, and I'm just going to start jamming out on this thing. This thing looks really easy to do. Really straightforward. Here's my rebuild kit. I got everything. I mean, it's super straightforward to do, really easy to do. So I'm going to start jamming out on this thing real quick. Got the air cleaner off. Took the bowl off. It's not too awfully dirty in there, as you can see. Not too bad. I'm going to start hosing this thing down, cleaning it down. I'm just going to swap out the float. I'm going to swap out the main jet and the pilot jet, and just clean it out really good. Spray it all out really good. Everything I can, and swap out that little O-ring right there, and then swap out this O-ring right here, and it should be ready to go back together. Okay, I got the carburetor all cleaned up. I went through a whole can of brake clean, a can and a half actually. It was so gunked up inside there from old gas and no air filter. So first things first though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the I'm going to do this real quick. I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to put the main jet stuff back together here, then I'll swap over and put my new pilot jet in. It goes in right here. And then I'm going to swap over and get my new float and my new needle and seat or whatever, and my new little pin that holds it all together, and we'll slide it through, and I'm going to have all this put back together. Then I'm going to put my new bowl gasket on right here, my little bowl O-ring, and then I'll tighten my bowl up with the Phillips screw, and I'm getting a text message. But I'll put my Phillips screws back in, the bottom of that will be good, and then we'll move on to the next part. One more thing real quick, make sure you hook the needle in to the floats there. This is the old stuff. Make sure you have that hooked in there just like that. That's how that works. But I got the new one in. It's all good to go. So now all I got to do is put the bowl on and tighten it down. Okay, last but not least, I already did it. The idle screw, I already stuck that in there. When you take these out, make sure you count them, how many turns it takes to come out. This one only had 2 turns on it. And then the little air little mixture screw here, it was 8 turns. I got it back in there 8 turns, and I also put the new O-ring on right here. So the carburetor is pretty much ready to go back together. So I guess that's what we're going to be doing next. We'll get this carburetor put back on, and then we'll move on to the fuel tank. I got the carburetor remounted back on there, and I took my spark plug or spark checker off, put the plug or the boot on there. The spark plug in, it's brand new. I guess someone put one in there thinking that was going to make it run, thinking that was the problem. Common thing I see. But the carburetor's back on, everything's hooked back up. I didn't put a new needle in it because it was fine. Throttle valve, whatever you want to call it. So now I'm going to leave the breather off of it just for the time being. This is what's left of the air filter that was in it. I have a new one coming. It's not here yet. Ordered it the other day. Still waiting on it, but I got to clean all this stuff up anyway. So now I guess the last thing I got to do is put a fuel petcock on the fuel tank and clean out the fuel tank and bolt it on. We'll see if it'll run. Okay, it's a little bit later. I had to go. I changed my clothes. I had to leave to go somewhere. But anyway, we got the fuel line put on. The new petcock put on. The new fuel line, I put a fuel filter, a little micron fuel filter on there for them. This one is not coming off. I thought about putting safety wire on here or some little hose clamps, but I can't get that to come apart anymore. I got it zip tied. I got the line all straightened out and everything. The air filter, I got a brand new air filter for it. This is the one that was in it, just as crumbled up. What's left of this foam, it's just crumbling to pieces. I already just got through cleaning the inside of the air filter box back out. Got all this stuff cleaned up, looking good. So I'm going to put the new air filter in, put it all back together, and I'm going to slide it on the carburetor. We'll bolt all that back down, and I'm going to go ahead and put all the plastics back on. It's just a few little screws. That's it. There's not much to hold this together, and we'll fire this thing up and take it for a little ride. Well, everything's put back together. Got all the plastics back on it. I got all the wiring, the air filter, and everything fixed. Everything's put back together. I even lubed the chain on it for them. Checked the oil in it's like brand new. So, with that being said, choke's on. I guess we'll see if this thing will fire up and run. It don't have much gas in it, so I'm going to turn the reserve on. And we'll see what we can do with it. I think it's up, actually. There. Let's see if she'll start. Again. Dang. One kick. I swear, that was it. That was pretty good. We'll let her sit here and warm up for a minute. Well, here we go. She runs good. We'll let her sit here and idle for a minute. I'll take her for a ride, but I guess we can call this project done. All right, next order of business, we're going to fix the deck here. You can see where that bearing froze up and it sent that sucker down. Look at that. Not good. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to zip the blade off, the blade off with this 24mm bolt. Then I'm going to chisel off all the grass up here so I can find the 4 bolts that hold this mandrel on, and then we take those loose and we'll slide the whole thing up to the top. Well, I'm kind of striking out a little bit. I got the new part in and it's totally different than what I need. I recognize it, so I took the blade off, honestly. This is the new one. Obviously, look at the difference. There's supposed to be a spacer in here where the pulley mounts, and then the blade mounts on there. It has a nut instead of a bolt. But the cool part is the new one, it actually fits the old red turd over there in the corner. So I'm going to save this one for the red one, because as soon as I send that back, one of those are going to go out. I know how tonight here, I'm going to be working on my dad's turd lawnmower is what I refer to it as, because it always needs help. I always have to work on this thing. I got a new spindle for it and a pulley. This is a really simple fix. Shouldn't take me more than 10 minutes, I hope. Basically, we'll just slide this in right here, bolt it down, all 4 bolts, put the belt back on it, bolt the blade on it, and grease it. It has a grease zerk on it, and we're done. Oh, I got to put the little cover back on it I took off, and I should be done. So I'm gonna knock this out real quick. I got all 4 of these bolts put in. They're tight. I just got the blade stuck up on here. I got it just loosely on there. I'm going to snug it with my impact there. It's really good. Then I'll go use grease zerk. I had it facing this way so it's easy to get to. And this baby is ready to go. Well, she's done. I just got through mowing. I didn't bother filming that because it is dark outside. I did go at my buddy Matt tonight at his shop, his in-tune shop he works at, where they tune cars on the dyno. I did pick up some new parts. I got me some new, here's the box for it, from BTR, Brian Tooley Racing. Got me some new chromoly push rods, hardened push rods. And I got me a whole deal here, dual valve springs for my truck, for my cam swap. I got retainers and the what you call it, locators, and got some valve stem seals, and I got some valve locks. So good stuff. Really excited about that. One step closer. I ordered my cam for it last night, so the only thing I got left to do is order just a couple of other little things, and be ready to do a cam swap. Well, hope you guys enjoyed that video. We got the little crf70 running great. The customers already got it. They love it. They had so much fun with it. They super thrilled. So I'm happy, they're happy, everything worked out good. So hope you guys like this video. Click that like, subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll see you on the next one. In the next video, actually, I think I'm working on my 4Runner some, and I think I'll be working on my buggy some or something. I don't know. I got a lot of stuff going on, and I also got a cool new toy I need to show you guys. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, be good to one another. Enjoy life while you got it. I'll see you next time.